next thing he said, you're all here for degrees. And he said, most of you don't even know what they represent. So I'm going to tell you. He said, you're here for a BS. And I said, oh, yeah, okay. And he said, that stands for bullshit. And he said, and after that, you're going to look to get an MS. And he said, that's more shit. And he said, ultimately, if you're lucky, you'll get a PhD. And that stands for piled higher and deeper. And this was my orientation as a freshman to college.
I respect that. I wish more people had conversations like that today, right? Like my father's a PhD. He's a physiologist and works in the medical field. So he's more research.
Yeah.
And, as much as I respect the length of time it takes to become a scientist or an engineer or a lawyer, all things that you have to go to school for.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I agree with college as an institution right now. I think someone giving advice like that is something that is sorely needed this day and age, right?
Yeah.
Just straight to the core of the matter, no bullshit. Like, wake you up out of the reality that you think you're in so that people can start engaging with the world.
I agree with that. And, one anecdote that before we leave this topic of your roots and growing up and what you were instilled in believing and all of that, I guess about 10 years ago, I had actor Eli Wallach on the show, who, to refresh your memory, he was Tuco in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Ah, great movie.
Right? And he's done 100 other movies, but that's my favorite of his.
Yeah, he's the best.
He also did The Misfits with Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable, their last film. So it was a great interview. He was 95 at the time.
Wow.
And he had just finished doing the last Wall Street movie.
Okay.
And it was a great interview. I was so thrilled sitting down with him. And after the interview, he said, Mickey, do me a favor, take a walk with me. That had never happened in all the 600 episodes. I said, it'd be my honor.
Yeah.
So it's a June day, and I'm walking up Broadway with Eli Wallach.
Pretty cool.
I said, that's a good day. So it dawned on me. I said, Mr. Wallach, where are we going? And he said, he had a plastic bag in his hand. He said, these are an old pair of shoes, and we're going to the cobbler to get them fixed. And I thought I'd be funny. And I said, Mr. Wallach, why don't you just go to Macy's and get 5 new pair? He could certainly afford it. And he grabbed me by the wrist. I remember, and he stopped me in the mid-stride, turned around, looked me straight in the eye, and he said, Mickey, I grew up during the Depression. And he said, back then, we didn't buy new, we fixed old. And I've never been able to shake that. And he was 95.
Yeah.
And I said, man, besides doing the show and having the thrill of interviewing these people, look at the life lessons that come with each interview.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you have many of them in quotations at the end of your book.
It's almost like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But he could never shake his upbringing and his roots. That depression and growing up hungry, without anything new, stayed with him his whole